Hi there, welcome to Tarotland Soap Opera. Today I'm going to do a reading for Scorpio energy. The top row is going to be for people that are harnessing high vibe Scorpio energy, what might be going on with them and in their life. And the bottom row is going to be for people who are free willingly choosing to harness low vibe Scorpio energy and what might be going on with them in their life. You know, Scorpio is water sign, emotional water sign energy, and it's like the deepest emotions we can be in. It's about exploring the mysteries of life, the depth of experience life, the highs, the lows, the love, the passion. And high vibe Scorpios would be people who love and nurture themselves, treat themselves with respect. They offer love and respect to other people. If people want to reciprocate that, that's great. They can work together with them. If they don't, they wish them peace and they move on. And people who are in shadowy Scorpio energy, for some reason, do not want to explore the mysteries of their emotions and the highs and the lows. Maybe they've been hurt before, and so it kicked them up into pride and ego. And now they could be someone who's kind of emotionally shallow and cold, possibly, or intimidating or controlling. Okay, for you high vibe people, the reason for the reading is the Five of Pentacles. Some of you could have been dealing with a Taurus, but otherwise it would just mean that you learned a life lesson. The Five of Pentacles is moving away from the Four of Pentacles. Some of you could have been moving away from a Capricorn, but the Four of Pentacles can talk about holding on to a way of being or thinking or believing or how you live life or a foundation or a relationship. But you learn some life experience from that, and you're moving forward and detaching from that way of being. If you used to be someone who didn't work well together with others, was afraid of moving forward, you're putting an end to that because you've seen the truth. If there was other people in your life who were kind of selfish or greedy, didn't open up, didn't work well together with others, didn't seem to want to learn or grow or mature themselves, you are in your Scorpio energy. The death card is Scorpio energy, and Scorpio is represented by the scorpion, and the scorpion, has a tail on it that can zap things and kill things. So this is kind of a card of emotionally detaching yourself, willing to shed the old to give birth to the new. And you've learned a life lesson and you're moving forward in life. You are moving forward. You have seen the truth. You could have seen the truth about your own fears and insecurities that held you back from moving forward before, that maybe your fears and insecurities and getting caught up in your mind too much, maybe about money and materialism, or being fearful if your long-term plan would come into reality, could have caused you fear and insecurity before that made you hold back from moving forward. Or you could have dealt with someone who has a lot of fears and insecurities about investing time, energy, and effort into dealing with their own fears and insecurities. You could have dealt with someone who made an offer to someone else that they viewed as a love choice, maybe. Seven of Cups talks about viewing someone as an emotional option. And regardless of what the situation was, you have seen a truth about something that had you kind of up in your head about love and believing in yourself and believing in your dreams. And whatever the case was, you have learned that lesson. In your Virgo energy, you did go within to gain insight and wisdom about yourself, about your fears, about your insecurities, about people in your past who might have hurt you. And, part of that is just wrapping your brain around the fact that other people in your life could have been selfish or greedy or manipulative or shallow or hurtful or atrocious. And we don't control them. It doesn't say anything about our worth and value. Just try to make someone and do something that they don't want to do. It's really hard, and we really shouldn't even try. And the whole fact is that if there's people in your life who didn't choose to be loving, and they could have been people in their shadowy Scorpio energy who wanted to put an end to the truth. And they could have tried to put an end to the truth by moving away from you and making an offer to someone else so that other people were confused about the truth about them. And it all puts you up up in your head, because why was this person who you had some type of relationship with, if it's at work or in a friendship group or a family dynamic, sibling, friend, child, it's confusing when people aren't willing to speak the truth and stand up for the truth. And then when they move forward and make an offer to someone else to get in a relationship or work together with that person, it's all really confusing. But whatever the case is, you have seen the truth about this whole situation. And you're emotionally detaching, maybe from a Taurus, maybe from someone else who moved away, maybe from someone who tried to make you feel left out in the cold. And you've seen the truth of all of it. And you are moving forward, looking to the future, believing in all the possibilities of what could be. And you're moving forward. The people that are right now in shadowy Scorpio energy, they emotionally, in their Pisces energy, are operating from pride and ego. They could be someone who stubbornly refuses to see life from any other perspective than their own. They might be someone who refuses to see life from anyone else's perspective. It's their way or the highway. And they will pridefully do things just to prove a point. There could be a Libra who moved forward in order to try to get the wheel to move in their favor, fate to turn in their favor. Or there was just someone who has lessons to learn basically in life, and they're in denial of the truth, or they don't want to see the truth. They might not want to see the truth that they do operate from pride and ego and stubbornness, because that's maybe not how they view themselves, but they maybe really are. But anyway, someone who is in denial of the truth that life is about love and being open and honest and giving and treating other people the way you want to be treated. Whoever didn't want to see the truth is moving forward and could be communicating that they want to move forward with someone to have victory and to work together with that person. They might be communicating to a Pisces, a Cancer, a Capricorn, but they think that living life the way they do, because we either have the option to see the truth and not live an illusion, not be operating from our pride and ego, to be open and honest, treat people the way we want to be treated, to be loving, to have hope and faith and belief in ourselves and our dreams, or in our pride and ego, we can decide we know best. Well, we can get hurt doing that, right? We get emotionally hurt. We can get really hurt being prideful and egotistical, but some people think that's the better option. So right now, for one, they could be in two minds about communicating. Right now, they could just feel stuck. For others of them, they are going to communicate to someone that they want to move forward. For other ones, they're just still trying to figure out if they should do that. So there might be someone that they feel that if they move forward with that person, that they would look victorious, because the Chariot card talks about looking victorious in the world. And they feel either they're going to move forward looking victorious in their own Capricorn energy, focusing on money and materialism and status and image to make them look successful, or they want to maybe move forward with someone and work together with that person because they think that will make them look victorious and successful in the world. Yep, they might be thinking of making an emotional new beginning offer to someone else in their life who they also perceive as being someone who might be stuck, someone else who also doesn't like to see life from any other perspective. And our shadowy nature can just be viewing life from just a really worldly way of viewing life, that life's about money and materialism and status and image, and not believing there's any higher purpose to life. That it's not about growing and maturing yourself and trying to gain insight and understanding about, believing in yourself and your unique talent, skills, and interests, and helping other people believe in their unique talent, skills, and interests. They just think life is very materialistically focused and worldly focused or indulgence focused or whatever. So someone is thinking of communicating to someone that they want to make an emotional offer. Part of the reason why they might be wanting to make that offer is because they don't want to, they emotionally invest and kind of love operating from their pride and ego. And they don't want to walk away from that. Even if it's kind of emotionally unfulfilling, they could be very stubborn and prideful and egotistical. And they don't want to do life differently, even if it is unfulfilling. Like I say, sometimes people in the hangman energy, it can be to do things just to prove a point, which would be a really bad reason to get in a relationship with someone and have a new emotional beginning with someone. I'm going to use you to try to prove a point to someone else. That's certainly not kind or loving or nice. But if they are unwilling to walk away from their old ways of being, they basically want to keep doing life as they have done it. They don't want to learn lessons. They don't want to become enlightened. They don't want to see themselves and the world around them from any higher perspective or any other perspective but their own. Okay, let's get some clarifiers. Some of you might have someone in their Scorpio energy. Well, some people who could have been, that you could have been in a relationship with, in whatever relationship dynamic that was. Some of those people that you were in a relationship with could have had someone in their life, a Scorpio, or someone who's in shadowy Scorpio energy, who could have communicated something to them that put them in a mental prison about moving forward and believing in themselves and their dreams. They tried to, if they were in shadowy Scorpio energy and they operate from pride, ego, emotional manipulation, intimidation, fear, insecurity, if this person in their life was maybe going to move forward and have the life of their dreams come into reality, they could have tried to stop them and confuse them about doing that. Or you could have had that happen to you, that there was someone in your life who tried to get you up in a mental prison about believing in yourself. For others of you, you could have someone right now who might want to put an end to your idea of moving forward and having your dreams come into reality, and they might want to communicate something to you. Maybe they would tell you, I've been in a mental prison ever since I did make an offer to that other option, if that was a relationship option or a job option, and I've been in a mental prison ever since I've done that, and I feel left out in the cold. And now they might want to move forward with you. And they might hope that by communicating with you, you'll then be in a mental prison about moving forward in your own life, because you maybe had wanted to move forward in some type of relationship dynamic with this person in the past. And if you had felt left out in the cold when they move forward with someone else, they're hoping you're maybe still in a mental prison and feeling left out in the cold from them. But if you're harnessing high vibe Scorpio energy, you will be standing up for yourself in the Knight of Swords and speaking your truth. And you might tell this person that they were toxic and selfish and greedy in their shadowy Capricorn energy. The devil can be a lot of things, like you have addictions, you're bossy, you're controlling, you're manipulative, you're selfish, you're greedy, you're possessive, you're obsessive, you're paranoid, whatever. It could be a lot of things. And you could tell them that I have seen the truth about you and I'm moving forward in my life. I am listening to my intuition to guide me, and I am willing to let go of working together with you in a relationship, a family, a work situation, because you betrayed me and broke my heart, and I have been giving it everything I've had to overcome the inner conflict I had about you acting competitive or to make me feel like I needed to compete for you, because if people love you, they don't try to make you feel like you need to compete for them. They love you. They wouldn't do that. So when this person maybe being selfish or manipulative, trying to get you in a mental prison by going and getting in a relationship with someone else, that was trying to kick up your pride and ego to put you in a lot of inner conflict. Because if you were in a relationship with someone and they're in a mental prison about learning lessons of growing and maturing themselves, because they thought their illusion of how they view relationships is that they only have to operate with half their foundation. All they have to do is focus on money, materialism, status, image, whatever. They don't have to connect in with their emotions or their intuition or their loving nature. And they could have thought you should be okay with that. For some reason, I'm not sure why, but for some reason they thought you should be okay with that. That was their way of viewing relationships. And you're like, no, that's not how I view relationships. And you gave it everything you had to overcome the inner conflict that this had stirred up within you. And you found that, when you worked through all of this, that you find it emotionally unfulfilling to be in a relationship with this person. And because you're continuing to move forward and believe in yourself and believe in your dreams, and you walked away, and this person isn't willing to walk away from their ways of being, their selfish, greedy, prideful, egotistical, whatever ways of being, this person is going to continue, if they choose to stay in shadowy Scorpio energy, they're going to continue to invest emotionally in being prideful and egotistical. And they might go back to finding someone else who feels stuck, who's in their pride and ego, who would maybe be willing to get in a relationship with them. And you are moving forward victoriously because you've overcome your prideful, egotistical nature of having dealt with this person, because you want to be in relationships with people who choose love, and to be loving every day is a free will choice. And when this person was in a relationship with you, for some reason, they had a lot of fear and insecurities about having hope and faith and belief in love. You want to be in relationships with people who have learned lessons in life. High vibe King of Pentacles energy is Capricorn energy, which is people who've learned to put in the work and effort to free themselves from their more shadowy nature. They're fearful, insecure, selfish, greedy, bossy, controlling, manipulative nature. They've learned how to offset their more beastly nature with love and compassion and forgiveness and encouragement every day within themselves, so they grow and mature themselves. And then they're a grown, mature person who can then grow and nurture other people, like relationships and job projects and children, because they've matured themselves. And those are the type of people you want to move forward with. You have closed out a chapter in your life. The World card is about learning lessons, and you are standing in your inner child nature of hope and faith and belief in your dreams and what can be, to defend your future. And you are going to take the lesson you've learned from this life experience to have a brand new beginning. And you might be holding back from an Aries who was more focused on money and materialism, who presented themselves as a loving family person in their Cancer energy, but they were really a Seven of Pentacles person in their Taurus energy, where it's more about, they were someone who invests in the things of the world, and that's what they work with to bring their dreams into reality. They don't invest in their emotions and listening to their intuition. They present themselves as loving, but actually they're very 3D focused about money, materialism, status, and image. And if you knew someone like that, you are going to hold back from them because you want to be happy and be in a long-term, emotionally fulfilling relationship. You could get in this relationship and it might have status and image and money and materialism, but it won't. They're not someone who invests in being emotionally loving and nurturing. So you are going to put work and effort into making your dreams come into reality. You're going to put in work and effort to take action in the world, letting your heart and intuition guide you forward. You're going to offer love and respect and kindness to people in the world. And you're going to be careful about who you invest your time, energy, and effort into, because you want to invest in other people who've chosen love, not to operate from pride, ego, emotional defensiveness, or make their life and major decisions in their life more based on money and materialism and pride and ego than love. So some of them in their shadowy energy, right up here, we have the Scorpio started out. Some of them aren't seeing things clearly. And they could have thought that you were in your pride and ego. And that if they communicated with you, that you'd be willing to move forward and work together with them again. But I think you're saying, no, I wish you peace. You know, I hope it works out for you, but I don't want to be in a relationship just because it would look good. Like I'd look like the winner, or I was victorious, or this relationship might look successful by worldly standards. I don't find it emotionally fulfilling to work together with you in a relationship because you're stubborn, you're prideful, you're egotistical, you're maybe materialistic. And that's what drives your decisions in life. I want someone who actually has taken the creative, inspired action to move forward and put in the hard work and effort it takes to balance out their dualistic nature, to offset their more beastly nature with love. People who've taken the reins of their own free will, so their pride or their fear or their materialistic, selfish, greedy nature isn't running their life off into the ditch. And until you've put in the work and effort to become enlightened, all I have is, I wish you peace, but I'm moving on. Because you might find it fulfilling to live your life that way. I don't. So, because you're maybe going to walk away and they feel stuck, they might communicate with someone else who is willing to work with them, because that person might kind of view life the way they do. And then we have two people who are evenly yoked in a relationship. Justice will have been served, I would say. That so long as they're not willing to get the justice they truly deserve, which is to be bold and open and authentic and vulnerable and, quit letting fear or pride and ego run their life, it's just and fair for them to be in relationships with other people who view life the way they do. And it's just and fair for you to move forward with people who have put an end to being emotionally shallow, people who've seen the truth about how their fears and insecurities had stopped them from learning the lessons they were meant to learn and had just caused nothing but emotional confusion. And those people are the people who've learned the lessons of life, that life's about living. It's about choosing love every day. It's a free will choice. I choose to be happy. I choose to believe in myself. I choose to be loving and giving and supportive and encouraging to the people I'm with, because why wouldn't I want to enjoy every day to the maximum, you know? And the people that have learned lessons in life are people who are willing to speak the truth about how their past fears, insecurities, addictions, codependencies, self-limiting beliefs had them in a mental prison before, and that's no place to live. And so then they try to help other people get out of their own mental prison so that they can move to calmer emotional thoughts, calmer emotions, and expand their perception and see themselves in life from a new perspective, and start listening to their intuition about maybe people in their life that are unstable, that don't build their life on love, that might try to manipulate them or control them or enslave them, you know, and see the truth of it and start walking the talk. That if you believe that there's a higher purpose to life and you believe in love and your dreams and treating other people as you'd like to be treated, then start walking the talk. And if these other people don't, and in their shadowy Taurus energy, they're more about money and materialism and status and image and people looking up to them and admiring them, well, let those people go, because they're just going to have you in a mental prison and emotionally confused, because they're not basing their life on a foundation of love. So let's go talk about some of the stories we saw here. If anybody had someone in shadowy Scorpio energy trying to put someone in a mental prison so they'd be emotionally confused and maybe fear being left out in the cold if they move forward with some loving people in their life, that it made them, again, it caused a block. You know, it instilled fear and insecurity, that they chose that instead of putting in the work and effort to believe in themselves and their dreams, they chose to be left out in the cold from the loving people in their life. And just like you might have someone right now trying to make you fear that you'll be left out in the cold if you don't return and get in a relationship with them. People are either loving and supportive and encouraging, or they're trying to manipulate you and instill fear and insecurity and emotionally confuse you, to manipulate you and control you. If someone had someone in shadowy Scorpio energy communicate with them and instill fear and insecurity, what did the Scorpio energy have to say? Well, we go from 7 of Swords to 2 of Swords. So in between here, we have a 5 of Swords at play, which is about mental conflict. They could have, 7 of Swords talks about being manipulative and deceptive, trying to deceive and confuse someone about the truth. Maybe trying to get someone in their pride and ego, because the Sun card is Leo energy. They could have been deceptive and manipulative to cause someone mental confusion about the truth and kind of trigger them to get up in their pride and ego and defensiveness, so that they would be in two minds about listening to their own intuition and having hope and faith and belief in themselves, in their dreams, in the loving people in their life that they could move forward with. Why would someone in shadowy Scorpio energy do that? So just like someone could have done that to someone you knew in your life, you now could have that person who did repeat patterns of the past, or someone else coming into your life trying to confuse you about the truth. And why would they do that? 9 of Cups, 2 of Wands, 6 of Pentacles, because of Seven of Cups. Because they could be people who like to emotionally confuse people. Their dream is to get people in their shadowy Aries energy is fire energy, our wand energy, which is our wants, our lusts, our greed. They have a dream of being indulged in a relationship. They turn their back on equal give and take and being just and fair and balanced in a relationship. They turn their back on investing time, energy, and effort to deal with their own emotions and emotional confusion. And so it makes them happy to emotionally confuse other people because they want other people to also dream of repeating patterns of the past where they indulge this person and they don't exchange resources with other people or listen to their intuition and believe in themselves. Because if they can emotionally manipulate people and get them into fear and insecurity, well, then they can indulge themselves in the relationship with them. Cool. I'll emotionally manipulate you. Cool. I'll be bossy and controlling of you. Cool. Are you codependent on me? Are you fearful and insecure? Perfect. When we're in our shadow energy, we're operating from pride and ego. We're competitive. We want to win. So if someone had a shadowy Scorpio, try to get them in fear and insecurity about moving forward with loving people in their life, it sadly made that person happy to emotionally confuse that person because they want it to be all about them. Their wants, their needs, their lusts, their greed, their pride, their ego. I don't want you to go exchange resources with other people that you could have long term emotional fulfillment with. I want you to indulge me in what I want. Why did it put this person, or why could it put you up in a mental prison? Well, with the Aries Emperor energy here again, the Two of Wands is Aries energy too. They might view this person as like a boss figure or an authority figure over them. And they could be defensive to speaking their inner truth about maybe people they have a deep emotional connection with. And when this person told them that maybe they even told them that if you move forward with the loving people in your life, they might be trying to deceive you. They might leave you out in the cold. I don't know. I don't think you should move forward with them. And then it put this person up in their head. And then they got confused about listening to their intuition because they might view this person as someone they look up to. In relation to this person, they could feel like they are a younger sibling or more like a child to this person. Maybe it is a parent figure. And this could be someone that they have a deep emotional connection with since childhood. And there is their own, youthful nature attached maybe to this person. Again, Six Cups is Scorpio energy. They could feel like they need to stand up and defend this person who is sadly trying to emotionally manipulate them. And in order to move forward on their own, they are going to have to speak their truth and defend, the people in their life currently that they're working together with from a deep emotional nature. People will be going within in their Virgo nature to gain insight and wisdom, Virgo is the hermit energy where you go within and you try to shed light on things that are hidden that people aren't showing you or that you maybe hadn't wanted to see before. Let's go see if this person goes within to gain insight and understanding about someone who's trying to put them in a mental prison. What will they gain insight and understanding about? Fool, Eight of Swords, Empress energy. That they are going to trust and believe in themselves, to take a risk, even though it might kind of put them up in a mental prison a little bit. They want to give birth to a new life. They want the justice they deserve in their life. And they will offer that to their emotional confusion that they might have, and about this person who might, in their life, who might try to get them all caught up in their head and their fear and insecurities, and focus more on what can be instead of, the scary things that could be. And I think this person will take the lesson they have learned about this person or even this aspect of themselves. No one can make someone do all that. I mean, it appeals to their own shadowy Scorpio nature. Someone in shadowy Scorpio energy can't put you up in your mental prison and make you do something unless it kind of resonates with your own shadowy Scorpio energy of like, maybe it would be better to live my life a little bit more emotionally shallow, and maybe I should give up on these people that I really have deep affection for because I could get hurt doing that. Maybe I should make my life more about money and materialism and getting relationships that aren't really based on love. And the people who aren't tempted by it, they work through it. But then they went within to gain insight and understanding maybe about why this person is doing what they're doing. I'm kind of curious to know that. What insight would they learn about this person who, again, what happens within us is what happens outside of us. We have different people. We could have every day go outside our house and have all sorts of people try to solicit us to, hey, come do this. Hey, come do that, And we wouldn't align with shadowy people, to indulge ourselves in the drugs or alcohol or gambling, everything in moderation, right? We wouldn't have people being able to tempt us to run our life off into the ditch if it didn't kind of appeal to that nature within ourselves. So this person would maybe also be learning something about themselves, is what I'm saying. But what would be the lesson that they've learned against people in their life who try to instill fear and insecurity, which is also what our own mind can do to us to keep us safe, Judgment, Ace of Cups. Oh, yeah. We can live more if we live more from our mind than our heart. Our mind was made to try to make us alert to danger and how we could get hurt. Right now, a lot of us don't have like wild animals and warring villages around us. Like the biggest fear we have is being emotionally hurt. And sometimes we've got to tell our mind and we've got to tell other people in our life that, oh, I don't know if you should go do that. I don't know. Those people could hurt you. They could betray you, whatever. I don't think you should go get that job. I don't think you should move away from home. I don't think you should go to college. I don't think you should go get that new job. Blah, 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 blah. Even our own mind can try to tell us that, but then we'll be imprisoned by our fear. And this person, the lesson they're going to learn about this aspect within themselves that other people can try to ping on and say, hey, I don't think you should do that. Hey, they're going to say, I have learned the lesson. I have decided love is going to be the focus of my attention. Not my fear, not my insecurity, not my self-limiting beliefs, not my pride, not my image, not my materialism. It's going to be love. And if I'm not doing things out of love, then why am I doing them? Awesome. And then, for some of you high vibe people who might be moving forward in your life, this person might see you as an emotional option. They've either overcome their own fears and insecurities, or other people in their life that they might have previously kind of clung to and been attached to for a sense of safety, stability, and security, even if that's their own mind, even if that's their own fearful, emotionally defensive nature. They are no longer clinging to that for a sense of safety and security, because they realize all it does is keep them in a mental prison. And they have decided they are willing to move forward. And they also are someone who is willing to speak the truth and fight for the truth, that people's fears, insecurities, self-limiting beliefs prevents them from seeing life from a higher perspective, to having a more, the Six of Swords is moving away from Five of Swords, which is mental conflict. If we let our fear, our insecurity, our mind, and other people in our life who try to instill fear and insecurity in us, it just causes us tons of mental conflict. Love is what heals us. If we believe in ourselves and believe in our dreams, and we treat ourselves with love, compassion, and kindness and forgiveness every day, we're gonna make mistakes along the way. We're fallible human beings. But if we keep not giving up on ourselves and our dreams, and we keep moving forward, believing in ourselves, we don't get caught up in that mental conflict and that negative energy and the fear and the insecurity. And this person would be someone who might want to make an offer to you. They see that you're moving forward, and just like them, you have done this work. And they might want to tell you that previously fear and insecurity and maybe toxic people in their life who were manipulative and controlling or whatever, who were trying to make them indulge them in their pride and ego, had previously stopped them from moving forward with you. But now they've seen the truth, and they are ready to listen to their intuition, and they are letting go of all the rules and regulations that they maybe used to have within their head about how to live life. The Taurus Hierophant is about the underlying foundation, like the rules and regulations, by which we make major decisions in our life. And people, if it's love, is pretty easy. Is this loving? Is this just? Is this fair? Am I acting with character and integrity? Am I not wanting to do it because of my fears and insecurities? Well, then I should do the work within myself to find out why I have fears and insecurities and learn the lesson, because otherwise I'm always going to have those fears and insecurities. They're going to follow me wherever I go. If I want to be free of them, I have to do the work to get over my fear and insecurities, to be free, so that I can have a foundation based on love. Where the people before who were listening to their mind, that's like all the rules and regulations from every small town to Supreme Court and federal laws and regulations. It's all those rules and regulations to keep a person safe. You should do this. You shouldn't do that. We can't do this. What would people say? Oh my gosh. It's not based on love. It's based on all these worldly things of you should, you shouldn't. If you treat people and you treat yourself with love and respect and kindness and compassion, and you offer that to other people, why do people have a problem with it? Well, because you're not doing what they want you to do, but you're being loving and kind and generous. Why do they have a problem with that? Well, because that's not how they do things. You can't be generous to those people. You can't be nice to those people. We have an image to uphold, honey. You know, it's prejudicial. And those people would say, I am willing to let go of a foundational belief system by which I used to run my life and maybe relationships that I had with other people in my life, because those people caused me nothing but heartbreak. And those ways of being within myself caused me nothing but heartbreak, because me and they live more from our mind than our heart. And I'm now ready to give it everything I've got, even if it causes upset and conflict and fighting, that I am letting go of some connections in my life, or a job or a relationship. You know, the Hierophant can mean a lot of things. I'm going to walk away from my inner conflict, my more prideful, egotistical, competitive nature in the world, and my inner conflict I had about being open and honest and vulnerable. And I'm taking creative, inspired action to overcome all of that, because I want love. And I want to be in loving relationships with other people who are mature and loving and nurturing and kind and respectful and treat me like I want to be treated. And, you know, if I treat them that way, I want them to reciprocate it. And when they were aligning with their more shadowy aspect, their own shadowy aspect, you know, you kind of align with the devil on your shoulder. It sounds good, like, for a while, but then eventually that voice in your head, you know, you didn't act with character and integrity, and that voice in your head starts to criticize you and belittle you and diminish you. And, you know, we need to learn to love and appreciate and value ourselves, and also quit aligning with people in our life that try to control us, try to manipulate us, try to get us in fear and insecurity, because those people aren't nurturing and loving us either, even though they might put it under the guise of loving us. If they're not nurturing you and loving you and believing in you to follow your dreams and being open and honest and authentic and loving with you, then it's more of a facade. And maybe they got in relationships that were more about money and image and pride and ego, and they wanted you to stay in that same type of relationship. And it's like, no, I'm not doing that. And if this is someone coming into your life trying to emotionally confuse you because the choices they had made before put them in a mental prison, if they haven't gone through all of this and come to this conclusion within themselves, and over time don't prove that they have had this whole new way of viewing life and have quit being codependent on other foundations in their life for their sense of stability and security, then you would be detaching from them too. But whoever in your life has done these things, perfect. You can work together with them. Where are we at? 48 minutes? Now, if someone does think you're in a mental prison, think that they can make you an offer and create an illusion, yeah, that person might be mistaken. If someone's coming towards high vibe Scorpios, trying to offer them money or materialism or status or image, hoping that will appeal to your more base nature of pride, ego, materialism, what are they going to say to high vibe Scorpio? And I guess I did have a card flip here. What was it? Ah. The Queen of Wands can be the other man, other woman. So they might say, I've ended things with the other man, other woman. Nobody would get into a relationship with the other man, other woman, instead of if they let go of a relationship with you when you were being loving and open and kind, except for the fact that the reason they aligned with the other man, other woman, is because in their pride and ego, they were aligned with their shadowy Leo energy of pride and ego. And they will tell you that, well, they might tell you they ended things with the other woman or man, but did they put an end to their shadowy nature of pride and ego. If they're in shadowy energy, they might be trying to make you an offer and create an illusion because they think that you, in your pride and ego, would want to be willing to get in a relationship with them the way they are. And I think you will say, I've learned my lessons from dealing with you. You're manipulative, you're selfish, you're greedy. I've seen the truth. I'm listening to my intuition. You let go of this relationship and betrayed me. It was overwhelming. It caused me a lot of inner conflict. You're very competitive. You had the opportunity in a relationship with me to choose love, but you didn't want to do that. In your pride and ego, you wanted it your way. And then to try to prove a point even further, you maybe went and got in a relationship with someone else. Well, I'm not stuck in my pride and ego about it anymore. I've realized it's emotionally unfulfilling to be in a relationship with you. And I've overcome my inner conflict and any competitive energy that might have arisen within me over it. I wish you peace, but I choose love. And I want to come together with other people who choose love, not pride and ego and image and status and money and materialism. Okay, I did do before and so then these people will feel stuck that you've walked away. So basically, if they're not high vibe, it is possible you could have some people who have learned their lessons. I mean, the thing is, if a person isn't in your life showing you one way or the other, they're maybe debating between themselves what to do. They're all possibilities. If they come high vibe and they have realized and went within and learned lessons and they've detached from their old ways of being and no longer are selfish, greedy, materialistic, manipulative, well, then you could get to know the person and see how deep their roots go. For other people who come in shadowy, because if they're still shadowy, those people are going to still emotionally invest in operating in their pride and ego, still being in denial of the truth. They will decide that they are going to move forward and either try to look victorious, focusing on money and materialism, or moving forward maybe with a Capricorn or a Pisces to look victorious. I shuffled the Heart's Hidden Secrets Oracle by Mystic Blue Moon Tarot, got it off their Etsy shop, and we got sorrow and memories, loss, grief, depression, reminiscing, dwelling, bittersweet, because of twin flame, mirroring, shared feelings, reflection. You can either be high vibe soulmates or low vibe soulmates. You could have gotten in a relationship with someone who presented themselves as being like a high vibe soulmate to you, like they're aligned with love, but you ended up finding out that they're really more aligned with shadowy energy, and they could have went and gotten a relationship with someone who is in shadowy energy, who was more of a mirror reflection of who they are, but in that relationship, they could have felt stuck. They knew that you loving people are loving and like wish them peace. And some of them could have thought, well, maybe I can just go make you an offer again. But the whole thing is, if you're still aligned in your shadowy energy, then no. I deserve to be in a relationship with people who are aligned with the same foundation that I am. So anyway, we'll leave it there. There you go, Scorpio energies of the world. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.